Hi, I'm Sandy Genovese, and welcome to this episode of the Ellison Education video series. We're going to experiment with colors and a little spinning action today. You can see when it slows down that my spinner actually has red and blue, and when it spins fast, what the kids will see is purple. It helps them understand the science of color. And then if I turn it this way, you can see on the other side it's red and white when it slows down, but when it goes fast, that red and white turns to pink. So all kinds of fun optical illusions that your kids will be able to do once they learn how to make this really cool spinner. So let me set it down and show you how it's done. I start first with these fraction dies. This one is the fraction circle, that's the whole, and then next to it I have the eighths. And the eighths just makes it easy for me to be able to mix and match the colors that I'm going to make the red and blue and to make the red and white. They're going to need a base. So if you look here, you just take a cardboard box, cut off a lid, a side, and then put it in the machine and cut it into the disc. So this is the same. If I bring it over here, you'll see this is the same. I've just used the same die to cut out the cardboard as I've used to cut out the white cardstock that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and let's start decorating. What I want is, in order to create this pattern, I'm going to need 4 red and 4 blue of those eighths. So I've already cut them out. I'm going to just put adhesive. So I'll build color going all the way around, and I'll just continue in this fashion until I've built the whole circle. All right, so I'm getting down to the final eighth, which in this case is red. You do want to be sure you get really solid adhesive because we're going to be poking holes through, and you don't want it to lift one of the little ends back up. So nice solid adhesive is really important as you put this together. So you can see I've created the red and blue side on the white disc. Then I've gone ahead and I've done the same thing, only in this case, I've just used the red with the white, but I've only cut out red segments. The white is really just the disc showing through, where I have white and then a blank. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach both of these to one of the cardboard discs. So once again, you want really good adhesive because you are going to be poking through. So I'll put the red and white on one side, get nice adhesive there to stick and get it really bonded, and then I'm going to put adhesive on the red and blue side. So as I lay this down, I want to make sure, I'm going to try to do it so that I poke through the white side. That way I don't have to worry as I poke through that it will want to lift a corner up because the white doesn't have any paper stuck to it. So as I lay these down, I want to try to roughly align, it doesn't have to be exact, but roughly align those. So I really press down, get nice adhesive on this side. So now you have the disc that's red and white on one side and red and blue on the other side. And now you need the holes that we're going to actually poke the string through. So what I did was I took a push pin and I want to make it so that it goes through any place around the center. There's going to be 2 holes, but I want it to come out the other side on white. So I'm going to look to see, is there white on the other side of this? No, there's red. So I want to do it, I'll do it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just fairly close to the center. I'm going to poke this through, and you can see how it's going to poke through onto the other side. And then across from there, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So close to the middle. You can see I was lucky enough to hit the white on both sides, which is really helpful. Now, it's not going to be easy to try to string anything through that small. So I'll take a pencil or a bamboo skewer in order to make this a larger hole. So as you have the bamboo skewer poked all the way through in a nice big hole, then I'm going to just repeat that same thing through the hole on this side as well. You get a nice big hole on both sides. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my colored string. And if you haven't ever used a floss threader, let me set it down. You can see if you have kids with braces, you know about this. It's how they floss their teeth around their braces. But it's perfect for threading when you have to thread something thick through something narrow, like these little holes. So I'm going to poke this through and I'll then do the same thing with the other side, the other end of the string. Poke this through. I'm going to tie a knot. The length of my string was about 2 feet, but you can play around with what you think is a good length for how long their arm reach is. And then you want to position the disc so it's roughly in the middle. Doesn't have to be exact. And then to get it started spinning, what you want to do, hold it in your hands or your arm, your hands, your fingers like this, the string through your fingers, and then just move your arms so that you're making big loops and it's going to wind it up. It takes a little bit of time to kind of practice. I'm going to pull and relax and pull and relax. And it takes a few times to kind of get it so it's building up some momentum and speed. But look at how cool. So you can see the red and white side becomes pink, and I'll flip it over. The red and blue side becomes purple. It's just such a cool thing to do. Your kids will love it. This is, you know, a great way for them to study the science of color, but oh gosh, there's all kinds of physics and other lessons that you could do that this would relate to. In fact, we have a die that's a spinning top. If you want your top to spin more slowly, here you can, oops, if I could do a better job, you can see that it spins. I've just got a pencil eraser on one side and a push pen on this side. And if you give it a good spin, you get a nice effect there as well. All kinds of cool optical illusions. You know, if you have kids who are spinning out of control, you might try channeling their energy into spinning toys, and they can learn a little about the science of color at the same time.